Hey guys, Justin Bryant here from selfmadesuccess.com. In this video, I'm going to show you how to start a small business that makes money online, meaning you can work from home and make a very good living, if not make 6 or even 7 figures like many others do online, doing a lot of different things and doing something that you would actually enjoy. So you can take what I'm teaching you, apply it to something you actually want to do, and make a lot of money working from home. But I'm going to use an example of somebody just to show you exactly what it looks like when this is done properly. That example is going to be Tim Ferriss. If you have heard of him, you know that he's a famous podcaster and best-selling author. If you haven't, there you go. He has a very famous podcast called The Tim Ferriss Show, where he interviews people who are very good at a certain craft and figures out why they're good and how they can help others be good in their own lives by figuring out their routines, habits, tools they use, stuff like that. He also has written a lot of best-selling books, and I recommend you check those out as well. I've read a few of them, and they are pretty educational. But as far as how he actually makes a living, I've broken it down into a few things that you can apply yourself, and I'll show you examples along the way. So first, you want to build an audience using content. So this is really how internet businesses work. They have to have traffic. You can do that through paid ads. You can do that through social media, blogging. You can do that through video channels like YouTube. You can do that through podcasts, things like that. So you have to have some sort of traffic. Typically, people will specialize in one or two forms of it. For instance, he specializes in a podcast right now. He has sold some books. You can use books for traffic as well. It's a little bit more complicated that way, but some people do that as well. So one thing you're going to need to do is set up a blog. And what Tim Ferriss recommends is WordPress. What I use is WordPress. And what about 35% of the internet uses now is WordPress. And these power a lot of the biggest and most highly trafficked blogs. So I have a step-by-step guide here, 3 steps how to set up a WordPress blog on Bluehost hosting. This is a professional WordPress blog. It's not one of those free versions. You can try a free version, but eventually you're going to want to get a better one later on that's more professional, that allows for more customization, your own personal domain that you came up with, and stuff like that. So Bluehost hosting is very reliable, great customer support, and is very affordable. It's like $4 a month for getting your first blog, domain, and hosting all in one. And then you can just follow this tutorial. You can also try like website builders, but they're going to be more like cookie cutter style. They may be easier in the beginning, but you'll probably have to just upgrade eventually anyway. So you might be better off just starting with WordPress. Another way he gets content is through YouTube, but that is more of just repurposing his podcast episodes, which I'll talk more about later. But he gets a lot of traffic from just kind of not direct links, because he does all of this via audio. When it comes to a podcast, you listen to it on whatever podcast player you're using on your phone or your other device. And so he interviews these famous people. He's interviewed Jamie Foxx, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and countless other people. You know, Josh Waitzkin, I think. He did. I can't even think of a lot of them right now because he's done so many. Terry Crews. He's done a lot of business people that you might not know. He's done a lot of, top athletes, top actors, and stuff like that. So he figures out what they have in common. He does this because he enjoys it, because it helps him become a better speaker, to ask better questions, and it gives him an excuse to talk to people that he otherwise probably wouldn't get to ever meet. So find a way to do content. Another way to do it is social media. He shares a lot of his stuff on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook as well. It's another way you can do traffic. But you have to have something like that to get people to your business. Otherwise, you can have the best products and services in the world, the best ads, and never make any money. So next, you need to be collecting emails for sales and content promotion. And what I mean by this is you need to have some sort of email marketing tool. And one I recommend is GetResponse. And the reason being is they're very affordable and they have pretty much everything you're going to need. Aweber is another one that comes to mind. MailChimp is up there as well. So just find a good email marketing service that you like. I recommend GetResponse. I'll have a link to it in the show notes for you if you want to try it. But that allows you to collect emails on a page like this. Usually if you're on his website for a certain amount of time, or any website, you'll have something pop up like this, and it'll be like, hey, yes, I want this list of something for free, and then I'll give you my email in exchange. And then you usually confirm your email, and then you'll get the latest stuff from Tim Ferriss or whoever's email list you opted into. So people give you something for free, and then they give you your email. So that's what you want to do, because if something happens with Facebook, if they go down or they do some crazy new algorithm to where you can't hardly get traffic, all your business could be gone. And whereas if you have a big email list, you can take that email list from one platform to another, and you pretty much always have that giant list of emails of thousands of people to promote your business, to promote your content and stuff like that. Another way to collect emails, you want to have something like this page here. This is like a pop-up is what it's frequently called. It comes up on your page when you're about to leave or when you first get on a web page. So some services that just have an easy, bunch of templates that you can use, an all-in-one service for stuff like that, for just having the initial page where people put in their email is Lead Pages. So I would recommend them. Or you can try like a theme for your WordPress site like Optimize Press or something like that. But Lead Pages is kind of an all-in-one solution for that. And then, of course, you can use GetResponse. I think GetResponse actually rolled out a marketing platform as well for collecting leads. And then, of course, you use GetResponse to actually email those leads. And then they take you through a tutorial of how to do all that. But all the best businesses collect emails is the point here. And so you need to do that as well to ensure the future of your business. Next, you want to consider like a sponsored podcast, maybe like Tim Ferriss. If you like to speak, if you like to interview people, if you like to give people helpful content or maybe be funny, maybe you're more of an entertaining person than an educational person, then you can do a podcast. You might listen to the Joe Rogan show, the Tim Ferriss show. You might listen to a lot of different podcasts and see kind of what style you like and stuff like that. So if you want to get sponsors, you need to use something like mid-roll. And that is a way for podcasters like Tim Ferriss to meet advertisers like Headspace or, all kinds of different companies. I don't know which all ones do podcasting, but he's had a lot of guests, the like investment companies like Wealthfront. He's had people that do clothes like MeUndies. He's had people do apps like Headspace. So you can have these people pay a certain amount of money to have like a 30-second slot in your podcast. So I encourage you to listen to the Tim Ferriss show on iTunes or on your Android podcast player. This is the one I use. It's called podcast player dash free, and it's very highly rated. It allows you to also listen offline if you're going to be driving or something and don't want to use data on your phone plan. So if you have an Android device, I recommend this one, and of course iTunes has one as well for Apple devices. But you can use mid-roll if you want to get into podcasting to actually find people that would want to pay you to put ads on your podcast once you have enough people. Then another thing you can do, for instance, like Tim Ferriss, you might do like affiliate links. Now, I don't know if he still does this or if he does this much at all these days, but it makes sense if he did, because affiliate links are a very easy way to get commissions on products that you don't even have to create yourself. So creating your own product or service can be a very big headache. You might have to hire a bunch of customer support staff to deal with inquiries, to deal with people who get damaged goods because of the shipping, or you might have to deal with manufacturing, you might have to deal with returns, you might have to deal with a lot of things if you have products. You also have to keep coming out with new products, update them. So a lot of people avoid that and still make a lot of money by doing affiliate links. For instance, you could do the Amazon affiliate program, and at Amazon Associates, you earn up to 10% of the cost of the item that people buy. And so all they have to do is go through your link to buy it instead of going just to Amazon.com. So you could join this program and become an Amazon affiliate, and it gives you access to millions of products. Otherwise, you have smaller ones like ClickBank, where it's more like user-created products that are mostly going to be digital, like lessons on how to sing, lessons on how to code, maybe fitness programs that you can do at home, ebooks, courses, stuff like that is going to be on something like ClickBank. And you can go to the affiliate marketplace, as an affiliate, look and see which ones have good commissions, which kind of categories you want to promote stuff in with your content, whether you promote these on your podcast or your blog or something like that. I recommend a blog if you're going to at least use it for like show notes or something like Tim Ferriss does if you're going to have affiliate links, because it's good to have like text for affiliate links. So for instance, if you were to go to like a 4-hour work week or now called tim.blog blog post, a lot of times he doesn't just write normal blog posts. He just uses it for show notes from interviews he does on the podcast. This is a great example of, maybe not being somebody who feels their strong suit is writing. Even though I think he's a pretty good writer, he always says that he's not necessarily great at writing. But if you don't enjoy writing or you don't think you're that great at it, you can just do show notes. You can have the links to the stuff you mentioned in your videos. You can have the people you mentioned. You can have the different things covered in your video or podcast at the different time periods during your content, listed like he does. So he has all these different things listed, like different books and stuff like that. The smart thing to do would be to use affiliate links when he links to stuff like that. Now, does he? I don't know. I don't want to go through and dissect every little thing that Tim Ferriss does, but it's something you could do with your own business. So affiliate links, and then all you'd have to go do is go to like Amazon.com, and then when you're signed in as an affiliate, just click text when you're on the product page. Let's say I went to his book, Tribe of Mentors, click text, and then it'll give you the affiliate link to insert into your blog post, into social media posts and stuff like that. It's a very big way of making good money online. Also, you could write ebooks. So Tim Ferriss is also known for the different ebooks he's written. I just showed you a few right there, and you can see he's been very successful. You can see all the reviews and how highly rated his stuff is. He started out with the 4-Hour Work Week, one that I've also read. Very good book if you want to learn how to do a business that's almost completely automated and you want to just have a better lifestyle in general. Another one is the 4-Hour Body, another one I've read. Very good for fitness, for better sleep, for even better relationships in some ways and stuff like that. Being the best version of yourself physically is what this book is about. He's also done the 4-Hour Chef. He's also done Tools of Titans and Tribe of Mentors. So he talks about all kinds of things that he's learned in these books. They become bestsellers, and he gets a ton of traffic and recognition and branding from these books. So if you want to write a book, you feel like you could write a book, and if you want to do short books that make you a few $100s each per month, or you want to try and do a bestseller where you think a book needs to be written that's not already out there, then you can publish on Amazon using Kindle Direct Publishing. So you would go to kdp.amazon.com, which is a page I'm on right now, earn up to 70% royalties in a lot of major countries around the world. And so that means every time someone buys your book online on Amazon, you can get 70% of that. So I would recommend publishing on there. I think you can do unlimited books pretty much, and that's how a lot of major publishers go. You don't have to go through major publishing companies and doing the physical version of the book like the paperback or the hardback and stuff anymore. You can go digital and then work your way up from there. If you want to have affiliate links, links to other books, links to your email subscription program where you're collecting emails like we talked about. If you want to have clickable links in your ebooks, then you need to convert to EPUB format. Okay, I've taken courses on, doing this type of thing and how full-time people do a good job selling books. That's one of the things they do. They make it to where you can click links in ebooks. They link to their other related books at the end. They link to a place where they can opt into the email list at the end. Stuff like that, just typical business type stuff to help grow their brand. If you like somebody's book, typically you're going to like their email list. You're going to like their blog and stuff as well. So they just give you a chance to do that easily by having clickable links. So you can go to online-convert.com, go to the EPUB converter. I'll have a link directly to this in the show notes page for this video for you. And if you want to actually take a course, you may or may not want to. Depends on if you want to get into ebooks and Amazon and stuff like that. I recommend K Money Mastery. I'll have a link to that as well. It's at selfmadesuccess.com/K-money-mastery. And you can do this for as little as $7 and just try it out. It's a great course. I've already been through it, took a lot of notes, and it teaches you how to go from nothing to maybe just a book idea to all the way to publishing and marketing it and getting money from it. All right. And so next, you need to also repurpose content. You don't want to just focus on one thing. Like if you're completely on nothing but YouTube and something happens with YouTube's algorithm like it has the last year or two, where they've been cracking down on people who say offensive things or do things that are kind of shady on YouTube, and they've kind of, messed up a few businesses, even though they probably shouldn't have even been on there in the first place. But you just want to be more diversified. So you'll have something that you specialize in, like Tim Ferriss specializes in a podcast. I'll use this as the example. So let's say he's got a very popular podcast. What's he going to do to repurpose his content? Well, he uses it in his blog posts. So if he did one podcast episode that was really popular, he interviews this doctor, and then he does a show notes page. So now he's got a podcast version in the form of audio. Now he has a text version in the form of a blog post where he talks about, what they cover, where to find this guy, the different tools and tactics and stuff like that, and it also gives you a chance to listen to it on the page. And then he repurposes it on YouTube as well. If you go to the Tim Ferriss YouTube channel, you'll notice that it doesn't seem like he gives it near as much attention as his podcast or his books and stuff, but he still has 297,000 subscribers, and he publishes his podcast episodes because you can easily listen to audio on YouTube. A lot of people forget that when they're doing a podcast that they could just publish it on YouTube as well. But he does that, and then he gets the extra few thousand views or people listening to these interviews on YouTube. So you don't have to be limited to just audio-only websites. You can make a text version for blogging. You can make a video version for YouTube. And all he does on YouTube for the visual part is he has a picture of the cover of his show, a picture of the person he's interviewing, and the text of the name of the episode or the name of the person he's talking to. That's it. That's the only visual that you see for the whole hour-long episode or whatever. And then the audio is in the background. So just that right there is a great way to repurpose in a couple of ways. I hope that example really makes sense to you. And then last but not least, Tim Ferriss was known as a very good investor. He invested in a lot of different companies. I think he invested in Uber and some other major companies and stuff, but I don't want to, mess this up and say stuff that he didn't do. You'll just have to listen to his podcast and see what kind of investments he's made, but he mentions them all the time in different episodes. He says he doesn't do it anymore just because he's so famous now that people just constantly pitch him all the time. So he got sick of it. But until you get that famous, it can be a very good income stream. And here's a few ways that you can do that. So if you want to invest in startups, kind of like Tim Ferriss and other people do, where you invest in companies that could get really big, if you could invest in the next Apple, the next Airbnb, the next Uber, you can make a ridiculous amount of money. And they just need to raise money to get to the next level for their businesses. So angel.co, also called AngelList, is where you could go to find startups to invest in and stuff like that. If you want to do like peer-to-peer lending, where you're basically acting as a bank along with other lenders and lend money to people and get interest, you can do Lending Club, or I think Lending Tree is another one. Or if you just want to do safe long-term investments, you could do something like Vanguard. They're known as a pretty honest, good company for doing like index funds and stuff like that. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I recommend you read the book Money Master the Game by Tony Robbins. It'll teach you all about investing, different ways you can go about that, and all of that type of stuff. So that's it for this video. If you felt like this was helpful, please like and subscribe so I can create more videos like this for you. Also, if you want to let me know what you thought about the video, the format, something you'd like me to cover in the future, things like that, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you and get your feedback. I'll also get also get all the links that I mentioned, examples, all that stuff in the show notes page at selfmadesuccess.com, and I'll get a link in the video description to that page for you as well. So other than that, I hope you found this video helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.